Hey, Jonathan here at Wolfies Delicatessen. We're going to sit down and talk to owner David Gelberman about some meat. Wolfies Delicatessen, one of the last remaining authentic Jewish-style delis in Toronto. With over 32 years of experience making the most mouth-watering deli sandwiches around, To Life sat down with owner David Gelberman to discuss the history, the atmosphere, deli today, and of course, the meats.
Wolfies started in December 4th, 1975. I wanted a relationship with the Wolfies that was in Miami, because that was the hottest place supposedly for delis. People were lined up and everything like that. So I researched the name and found out that Wolfies was not registered in Toronto. And my father-in-law, who we worked together and opened up the restaurant, his name was Zevin Wolf. I originally wanted to call it Miami Deli, but people told me that Wolfies would probably be a better name for it because people recognized it as a deli and a bigger one in Montreal, so that association. So that's where that originated from.
And how is the one in Miami?
Actually, Wolfies in Miami and the Rascal House are both closed now. I don't think there are any left. There's still some delis, but not any Wolfies anymore. We've been here since day one, like December 4th, 75. We've been here now going on 32 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Still going strong?
Thank God, yes. No, we make our get our meats from Montreal. We have ever since day one. So that's, I believe, where the meat is, for my liking, better. I think the biggest difference between the Montreal or Toronto meat is the dryness as opposed to the moistness of the meat. Toronto happens to be a dry type of meat, cured meat, and some people like that. I happen to like the meat on the moist side, so that when I eat it, it goes down smooth and much easier to chew and stuff, so that's why I prefer it. The number one meat is still the corned beef, but very, very close behind is the Montreal smoked meat, which is the spicy, or what other people call the Romanian pastrami, or the heavy black spice on the brisket. Well, steam is the best way to warm up briskets. After they've been done, to keep the flavor, moistness of the meat and stuff like that, steam is the only way to go. Actually, a lot of people do ask me what they should do when they go home. I suggest to them to do, if they buy the meat cold, to take it home and put it into a vegetable steamer to get that flavor back into it. Barring that, the second best thing to do, believe it or not, is putting it into the microwave, using a wetting a little paper towel, putting that around or throwing it into the microwave for a couple of minutes, and that sort of bounces back the flavor into the meat, so they should be doing that. Unless, of course, people like it cold, nothing wrong with that. But if you want that flavor of the deli, having the sandwich and having it warm, that's the way to go.
Do you steam every meat?
I steam, except for turkey. My corned beef, yeah.
Why don't you steam turkey?
Well, turkey will fall apart if you steam it. Yeah. Well, I think I make a pretty good one. There's a third of a pound of meat on it, and I put 2 slices of bread at the bottom and 2 at the top, so people can make either 2 sandwiches or have one large sandwich. That's been my,
Is that only your thing, or is that a deli thing?
No, that's only my thing. That's only Wolfie's thing. I don't think anybody else puts in a double bread at the bottom or at the top. We make our own hot mustard. It's a secret formula, but I think people watching this might remember either Becker's Deli that used to be here in Toronto. They used to make a special sauce, and this is my own sauce. It's a hot one, but it's people really like it. Save the Deli is a website basically devoted to keeping the culture of Jewish delis still alive. The particular gentleman who looks after the site goes all over the world and basically promotes the idea that the deli is the kind of culture that we shouldn't lose, and he tries to promote it, and hopefully it doesn't dissipate or go away. in this day and age. Well, from my perspective, people are shying away from beef and stuff like that, so they don't frequent it as much as they used to before. So whereas you had 30 to 40 delis in Toronto back in the 60s and 70s, you're down to maybe a handful today. If you go to Save the Deli, you could go there, see he did a film on me, and then I did a thing with Street Eats, and I've got it on YouTube, and there's a connection or a link from my website, which is mywolfies.com, or you could go to savethedeli.com.
Wolfies is known as the Little Coca-Cola Museum. We asked him how his little obsession began.
Well, there's also a history behind that. Originally, I used to have as a display on my counter the Stubbs pickles in formaldehyde, and that used to be my display behind my counter over the menu. And when Stubbs stopped producing it and giving me that, it was the year I believe that the Blue Jays won the pennant back in '86. And so they made a special Coke out of that. That's originally where it started, and it grew from there. I started collecting Coke, and I like the feeling and the aura that it personifies, which is basically you walk into the 50s and the 60s, it gives you that feel of walking back in time and getting that deli feel. Matter of fact, right behind me is a vintage 1954 Coke machine that still works, and you put in a dime and you get yourself a Coke, nice and cool. And we still have the bottles also to give it that part of the 50s flavor.
And how David prefers to slice his meats?
As a matter of fact, here at Wolfies, we've switched it around. I've done it for over 30 years already. We cut our meats lean. If you want it with fat today, you have to ask for it.
There's always something interesting going on, and people are happy to see you when they know your name. So it's like cheer, only with better food.
Okay, just remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're into catering, we do 2 to 1,000 people anytime, anywhere, any place. Just give us a call, and thank you.